Hello, today we had a great question about what to do with our seedlings once they've started to sprout when we're forcing them indoors. How long do you need to wait before you can throw them outside and let them do the thing? That's what we're going to discuss. Okay, so this was a great question asked on Instagram. It looked like a very young seedlings. They'd only just started to sprout, and it was only the first leaf or two that was starting to come out. That's a loaded question. How long we leave them indoors really all depends on the type of plant, how big the plant is, how big the plant can get indoors before it starts really getting leggy. Lots of us get a little antsy and we'll start seedlings in January and February when we're bored. And then by now, they're even quite large, but we're not past the frost date. So I wish I had a clear answer for you. But I think it really comes down to knowing the seedlings and determining whether those are summer-loving plants or cool season. So many of your lettuces, any of the plants that like it cold outside, you can start indoors. And once they've sprouted up enough that they've got a little root mass to them and they look like little plants, technically you can start thinking about transplanting them outdoors. But if these are tomatoes, cucumbers, anything that likes the summer heat, it is only the beginning of April. We are way too cool yet for them to go outside, especially tomatoes. I recommend people leave tomatoes indoors as long as you physically can, if they're not getting leggy and flopping over on you, because they like warm soil. And that soil right now is not warm at all. So we may be getting an occasional 60-degree afternoon day, maybe even a 70, but the ground is still cold. And that's all that matters to a lot of these plants. And so, the trick is, look at your seed packet. Usually it'll tell you, start indoors 5 weeks before frost. Start in 6 weeks, 3 weeks, or not even start indoors. Some of them will even say direct sow. That means they recommend that you start those seedlings in the ground. So if you're at home and you have little baby seedlings and they're just a little sprout, you can go quite a bit of time. The trick is, keep them warm, give them as much sunlight as you can. Maybe not go crazy on the fertilizer. Maybe only fertilize once every few days, once a week, because the more you fertilize them, they're going to grow faster. The more you starve them of sunlight, the more they're going to stretch. So the key is to keep rotating your seed trays. So if you're growing them in a window, keep rotating them every day so they grow nice and straight. If not, they're going to start growing like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So keep them in there, let them go. But the success I find comes from more of what you do with them once they're looking like substantial plants. You want 3, 4, 5 typically sets of leaves coming out before I start thinking about transplanting them outdoors. The seedlings that were shown were just little sprouts. They got a long ways to go before you need to worry about having to put them outside. That being said, pay attention to the timing, pay attention to what crop it is. We can help with that. Our frost dates around here technically is around May 10th. If you're on a Quinnic Island or you're in some really warm spots, I find it usually by the end of April, we're routinely not getting frost anymore. If your plants are getting massive and you just need to get them out of the house because they're going to die either way, then yes, maybe stretch that season, go as long as you can, but pay attention to them. If you see that there's a frost warning and that we're going to hit another little cold snap there, then it's to your benefit to throw a frost guard, a little blanket or something over the top without crushing the seedlings, but protect them from the frost. So just be advised, there's lots of tricks, but if you find you have to put them out early because they're just getting too big, one other thing to consider before you just throw them outdoors is keep in mind that seedlings that have been growing indoors under artificial light or even in window, the light is much stronger outdoors. My experience is a shady spot outdoors is still much stronger light than even a full sun indoors. So imagine those leaves being like little solar panels. They're trying to capture all this sunlight. You throw them outside, just like we're blinded. I'm in the greenhouse and I'm squinting right now because it's bright out. The trick is your seedlings are going to be the same way. The fastest way to kill your seedlings is throwing them out there too fast, and it's not from cold in my experience, it's sunlight. So when you're ready to start weaning them over to going outdoor conditions, pick a shady spot in your yard and then bring them out there for a few hours every day. And then bring them in at night to protect them, and then do that for multiple days in a row. you're trying to acclimate them to the temperatures outside for more of the light levels. So maybe the first day you put them in a shady spot and leave them out there the core of the day. The next day, maybe move them closer to the sun. Maybe by the third or fourth day, you put them out in the sunlight in a partly sunny area. The longer you can transition them to full sun, the better they will do. My experience is I've fried more than one crop in my early years by getting so antsy, babied them, looked beautiful, waited till the middle of May, and I fried them all the first day because I threw them right out in the sunny area. Hope that helps. Let us know if you have any other questions. Take care.